something seems to be going on this mysterious continent at the South Pole.
From an illegal drone flight over Antarctica to a shocking revelation of hidden secrets under the ice, the USA's decision to shut down the continent has sparked a major mystery. Brian, a well-known explorer, found something incredible in Antarctica, a huge, glowing hole in the ice, but this discovery quickly led to trouble. His plane's instruments stopped working out of nowhere, forcing him to make urgent repairs while still in the air. Once they managed to land, some strange people showed up, forcefully took his records, and warned him and his crew to keep their mouths shut. But why was this so important that the area was locked down immediately? Let's dive into what they're hiding under the ice.
There is more about Antarctica that is being covered up than we think.
Something about this hole that is now causing these problems.
Unexpected visitors. Soon after, men in dark suits and top-ranking naval officers arrived at McMurdo Station, demanding that Brian retract his claims about the unidentified craft he'd seen. He stood his ground, even though it could lead to serious consequences for him. A few weeks later, while exploring a remote area, Brian received a faint distress signal from beneath an ice shelf. He tracked it to a strange circular opening in the ice that was emitting an eerie glow. When they tried to investigate further, every system on their aircraft suddenly failed. Luckily, they managed to restore power and get out of there safely.
And he said, our instruments are not operating. We were losing electricity. We had magnetic anomalies. And we concluded there's something about this hole that is now causing these problems.
Back at their base, Brian secretly communicated the details of the strange ice formation, and it wasn't long before classified convoys were sent to the location. But the story didn't end there. Brian was summoned to a confidential meeting with officials from DARPA, where he was sternly warned to remain silent about the extraordinary discoveries he'd made in Antarctica. As time passed, Brian noticed that many scientists had gone missing, and numerous research stations were left abandoned across Antarctica. The whole situation felt like a real-life thriller, with hidden secrets that were both fascinating and terrifying.
They appear to be from Washington, D.C., and as he said, they told us that we are never, ever to fly over that hole, and we are never to discuss it again. What is that about? And does that have anything to do with all these other pieces that keep emerging? That there might be something archaeological in Antarctica?
A growing guilt. Brian was troubled by the need to keep quiet about these bizarre happenings in Antarctica. He knew that his colleagues had risked a lot to uncover the truth. Seeking someone he could trust, he reached out to Linda Howe, a determined researcher who had been investigating the mysteries of Antarctica for years.
In January 2015, I got an email from a retired naval flight engineer. He's asked me to call him only Brian in the world public.
Linda had spent a long time collecting stories from military personnel that confirmed Brian's findings. These stories included reports of advanced aircraft near the South Pole, unusual radio signals, and unidentified objects moving at incredible speeds through the Southern Ocean. There were also secret satellite images that showed temporary dome-like structures popping up on the icy continent. These structures were quickly destroyed, possibly to cover up secret activities. Linda's investigation also revealed a disturbing pattern. Several experts studying Antarctica died under suspicious circumstances, suggesting something sinister was happening. Her research uncovered that powerful military and scientific groups had been making secret trips to Antarctica for a long time, leading to debates about their true motives. Although Antarctica is supposed to be reserved for peaceful scientific research, increasing claims by different countries have sparked political tensions. People are concerned about the potential exploitation of natural resources and the possibility of military conflict. Currently, Linda is facing interference from mysterious government entities as she digs deeper into the growing secrecy and defense-related issues in Antarctica. Despite these challenges, more people are supporting her efforts. Understanding Antarctica's role and future is crucial for the planet, yet those in power often block this understanding. But this isn't the worst part. It's crucial to support truth seekers like Linda and approach the situation with an open mind. As more information about Antarctica comes to light, we need to focus on learning and facing uncomfortable truths rather than succumbing to fear. It's a time to prioritize truth over silence or denial. even if it challenges what we know about history. Brian's journey in Antarctica uncovered strange events that drew him deeper into a world of mystery.
And they are round. And he says they're doing the strangest thing. They're going like to this peak in a group, to this peak in a group, to this peak in a group, and then they'd all take off.
Antarctica's sky mysteries. Brian's experiences in Antarctica felt more like scenes from a sci-fi movie set against the vast icy landscape. Scientists disappeared, and many were scared into silence, adding to the eerie atmosphere surrounding Brian's experiences. What puzzled him the most were the shiny, unidentified objects performing impossible maneuvers in the bright skies above Antarctica. During one expedition over the Queen Maud Mountains, Brian and his team witnessed metallic discs emerging one by one from behind a snowy peak. These discs, each about the size of a large backyard trampoline, moved in perfect formation and headed toward Mount Fridtjof. Their surfaces were dull and didn't reflect light, making them stand out against the clear blue sky. The movements of these discs defied anything known to human technology. They spun together, accelerated suddenly, and made sharp turns in mid-air without any visible engines. After about 15 minutes, the discs disappeared behind the mountain, leaving Brian and his team stunned by the advanced technology they had just witnessed. But the strangest discovery was yet to come. The most surprising discovery was still ahead. Brian came across a gigantic hole in the Antarctic ice that led down to a glowing cave hidden beneath the surface.
Yes.
The edges of the hole were so smooth that it didn't seem possible for any machine to have made them, and the area glowed with a strange blue light. As Brian and his team got closer, all their equipment suddenly stopped working. Radar, navigation, and controls all went haywire when they got within about a kilometer of this mysterious cave, causing a lot of confusion and panic. Brian wrote down everything that happened during this strange encounter, especially noting the weird electromagnetic forces and the super-fast objects that seemed to shoot out of the cave at unbelievable speeds. But before he could share this information with anyone, unknown people came and took his report, making sure that these discoveries were kept secret. These strange events made Brian really worried. They reminded him of old stories about hidden underground places in Antarctica, especially those linked to Admiral Byrd's secret naval missions back in 1947. Determined to find out more, Brian even flew solo missions over this strange area, but weird electrical disturbances kept messing with his equipment, making it hard to gather more information. During his last mission in a restricted area, Brian discovered something even stranger, a shiny metal disc hidden inside an icy cave. Suddenly, the disc shot straight up into the sky, flashing a bright light that made all of Brian's equipment stop working. About 20 minutes later, Brian finally got control of his aircraft again, but to his shock, he realized that he was now 13 kilometers away from the cave. He couldn't remember how his plane had moved during the time he had lost control, but things didn't get any better after that. No matter how many times he tried, Brian couldn't find the entrance to the cave again. Bad weather and strict flying rules kept him from getting close. As time passed, Brian quietly started talking to other pilots who had also seen these strange metal discs near the Antarctic bases. One of his colleagues, who worked near Euler Peak, showed him proof of unidentified objects moving underwater in the Weddell Sea. These objects were metallic structures that would silently rise from the water and then disappear without a trace. Another friend managed to get satellite images that showed unusual heat patterns under Wilkes Land, which made it seem like there might be temporary shelters or hidden bases under the ice. These conversations led Brian to believe that there were secret operations happening deep within the Antarctic ice, possibly connected to the strange flying objects he had seen in the sky above. These strange encounters kept Brian up at night, and the fact that he couldn't figure out what was really happening troubled him deeply. But Brian wasn't the only one who wanted answers. A growing group of experienced veterans were also eager to find out the truth about what was going on in Antarctica. With space agencies planning to build bases at the South Pole, it seemed like humanity might soon have to face the unsettling realities of what, or who, exists in the most remote parts of Antarctica. All of these strange events were pushing Brian toward discoveries that could completely change what we know about Earth, the Antarctic mystery. But the mystery didn't end there. Brian's story is really important for understanding the strange things happening in Antarctica. It challenges what we think we know about human history and makes us rethink our place on a planet that might have more intelligent beings than we ever imagined. Even though it's hard, facing these truths is important for us to grow and learn. Brian's incredible experiences in Antarctica also connect with old stories, especially those about Admiral Richard Byrd, the famous American explorer. Byrd became a national hero after his pioneering flights over the North and South Poles in the 1920s, but it was his 1947 journey that truly captured people's attention. He spoke of finding a vast, warm area beyond the icy terrain, inhabited by unusual animals and dominated by strange disc-shaped aircraft. The most shocking part, however, came after Byrd's return. His incredible story was quickly hushed up. His records were taken away, and his team was forced into silence. At first, Byrd's esteemed reputation shielded him from being entirely dismissed, but eventually, due to pressure and what was said to be a psychological evaluation by the Navy, Byrd retracted his statements. The strong push to keep him and his team quiet showed just how important it was to keep these Antarctic findings a secret. This suppression only made people more suspicious and curious about what might really be hidden in Antarctica. Although official reports downplayed Byrd's claims, suggesting they were the result of the extreme polar conditions, many remained unconvinced. The contradictions between these denials and Byrd's detailed descriptions of a hidden, lush land filled with advanced technology and large creatures left people questioning.
Admiral Byrd heard there was an entrance to the center of the Earth through the South Pole. And he took planes into the South, under the South Pole. And when he did that, he discovered that as he flew over the pole, suddenly he's looking at things that shouldn't be there. I mean, it was temperate.
If true, these discoveries could have a profound impact on our understanding of science, history, and the world around us. In the beginning, people were mainly focused on protecting their country's interests and competing with other powerful nations to control Antarctica's resources. They also wanted everything to appear normal to the public. The US Navy was probably concerned that the Soviets might use a secret part of Antarctica as a base to strike at America's vulnerable areas in the Pacific. Scientists were anxious that new discoveries in advanced physics and health sciences, which had been kept hidden for a long time, might finally come to light. Political leaders were also worried about causing panic by revealing that our current maps of the Earth were missing crucial details. The extreme secrecy from the world's top leaders, especially after Admiral Byrd's information was hidden, showed that they were concerned about more than just national pride or scientific achievements. Byrd's statements hinted that Antarctica might hold secrets that could completely change how we understand humanity and our origins. Later, documents revealed that the US government monitored every member of Byrd's 1947 expedition until they passed away, treating them as a security risk, not just because of politics, but because of what they had witnessed. But there's more to the story. It's clear that those in power knew that Byrd's findings were about much more than just land or new technology. By sharing his shocking discoveries about Antarctica while he was still there, Admiral Byrd probably hoped to get the truth out before others could silence him. Initially, his plan seemed to work. The US media quickly spread the incredible news that Byrd had found a warm, life-filled area beyond the South Pole. However, the situation changed dramatically when Byrd was forced to retract his statements a few weeks later.
This story is said to come from his diaries, not his published account of the trip, but something he held back and then later was suppressed by government authorities that found it frightening. Under orders to keep quiet, Byrd's reputation was damaged, and Antarctica faded from public attention for many years. It wasn't until people like Brian, a retired military officer, started speaking up that the hidden truths about Antarctica began to resurface. Brian described seeing strange, shiny objects in a brightly lit ice cave deep beneath Antarctica, bringing back memories of Byrd's stories of vast hidden areas with mysterious vehicles. These similar stories, now backed by Linda's research, strongly suggest that those in power have been trying to hide the truth about Antarctica since the 1940s. They've used media tricks and fear tactics to keep people from learning the full story. As hidden truths start to come out, we are forced to reconsider the history we thought we knew. Breaking the silence. Unlike in Byrd's time, when only a few people controlled the media and unchecked leaders had a lot of power,
Today's internet makes it hard to keep Antarctica's secrets hidden. A global movement has emerged on social media, fueled by Linda's discoveries, pushing back against the long-standing silence about the icy continent. These truths, which were once hard for officials to accept, have become too consistent over the years, and too many witnesses have spoken out to ignore.
At that time, my rank was First Lieutenant Commander, Naval Special Operations. We were inbound the southeast coast of Antarctica. We were dispatched for, unofficially, was a research reconnaissance mission. Officially, it was to find a certain individual, obtain any information, and bring it back.
For a long time, maps only showed a vague outline of Antarctica, with details about what was inside kept secret. While scientists often joke about mapping other planets like Mars, they admit they still know very little about the deep conditions in Antarctica. These conditions are a barrier between the Earth's surface and the moving outer layer beneath the ice. But the story doesn't end here. Recent studies suggest it's unlikely that explorers like Amundsen and Scott could have crossed unknown mountain ranges on their way to the South Pole that were never included in their plans. It's possible that due to changes in Antarctica's climate or shifts in civilizations, advanced beings might have lived in Antarctica long before humans ever arrived. Linda's investigations are showing that there has been a big long-term effort by the military, archaeologists, and powerful global players to keep Antarctica's biggest secrets hidden. But as more scientists and former experts start to share their stories, people are beginning to question what we really know about this remote part of the Earth. What happens next could either bring us all together or create serious divisions, depending on how we handle these important and unsettling truths. Antarctica is famous for being the coldest, driest, and windiest place on Earth. It's a giant ice-covered land at the bottom of our planet. This continent is enormous, covering about 32.5 million square miles. Because of its extreme conditions, very few people live there. Right now, fewer than 10,000 people live in Antarctica, and most of them are scientists. They brave the harsh conditions to explore what's hidden under the ice. Temperatures in Antarctica can drop to a bone-chilling minus 56.2 degrees Fahrenheit, and sometimes even go as low as minus 128.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds in Antarctica are incredibly strong. They can blow at speeds up to 186 miles per hour, which is faster than a cheetah can run. Snowstorms can last for weeks, making Antarctica a real test of human strength and endurance. But the really surprising part isn't just the harsh weather. What's hidden under the ice could change everything we know about history. For example, there's an old map from the 1500s called the Peary Race Map. This map shows Antarctica long before it was officially discovered in 1820. This kind of detail has puzzled historians and scientists, leading to lots of research and debate. Antarctica has mostly stayed the same over the years because it is so isolated. The Antarctic Treaty, which started in 1959, helps protect it. This treaty makes sure that Antarctica is used mainly for scientific research and keeps human activities to a minimum. The Antarctic Treaty has made Antarctica a key place for global research. Scientists focus on studying the climate and atmosphere there, away from the noise and problems of city life. The extremely cold temperatures have helped preserve ancient meteorites and tiny microorganisms. These meteorites give us valuable information about space, and the small fossils in the ice tell us incredible stories about how life survives and adapts. But there's even more exciting stuff to discover. Antarctica isn't just important for science, it's also incredibly beautiful. The ice-covered landscapes, with their bright blue ice caves and slowly moving ice rivers, are truly amazing. Being in such a clean and untouched environment can be a powerful experience, inspiring art, photography, poetry, and stories. Antarctica's story is about survival, discovery, and the challenges of protecting this special place. A clash of conservation and capital. Unfortunately, this beautiful icy land is facing threats from global warming. Antarctica is crucial for regulating the climate and weather around the world, as its ice sheets act like huge natural water reserves. With global temperatures rising, more ice is melting, which is causing problems like rising sea levels and disruptions to the Antarctic ecosystem. To protect Antarctica's unique environment, there are efforts to create protected areas, control fishing activities, and keep track of wildlife at risk, like penguins and whales. These actions are important to keep the balance of life in this extraordinary place. There's a lot of interest in Antarctica right now, but also a lot of debate about who controls it. Big countries like Russia, China, and the United States are very interested because there might be valuable resources like minerals and oil hidden under the ice. The Antarctic Treaty of 1959 was meant to ensure peace and cooperation, but it's now facing pressure as countries compete for these resources. The big question is whether we can keep Antarctica the way it is, while also dealing with climate change, international politics, and our desire to explore and profit from it. Some people believe we should keep Antarctica completely untouched, while others think we should use its natural resources. This ongoing debate shows the tension between protecting the environment and pursuing economic benefits. Even with these conflicts, Antarctica remains a peaceful place. The animals there have adapted to survive the severe winters, and its ancient mountains have witnessed many different eras. There's still so much we don't know about this icy world. Its unusual landscapes, unpredictable weather, and the life that exists there. Antarctica is like a huge treasure chest full of wonders, possibly holding secrets about how life can thrive in such harsh conditions. As Sir Ernest Shackleton once suggested, there's a deeper truth to discover about surviving in polar regions. But the most surprising part is that Antarctica is not just a chapter in Earth's history, it's a story we're only beginning to uncover. Antarctica isn't just a vast expanse of ice, it's a stunning showcase of nature's untouched beauty. Visitors are often struck by its breathtaking sights, such as dazzling blue ice caves illuminated by frozen microbes and glaciers that stretch all the way to the ocean. These visual marvels make a lasting impression. Today, adventurous travelers set off on cruises to Antarctica to witness its unique wildlife against spectacular icy backdrops. Picture coming face to face with curious penguins that waddle across volcanic sands, nestled between icy waters and towering frozen cliffs. And don't miss the Southern Lights, a mesmerizing show of green and violet lights dancing across the night sky, creating a dreamlike spectacle. But there's even more to Antarctica. Even a brief visit reveals an extraordinary world of rare beauty at the planet's edge. Explorer Wally Herbert once noted that nothing on Earth compares to the stark beauty of the Antarctic Peninsula. Protecting Antarctica goes beyond environmental concerns. It's about preserving a rare gem that continually inspires with its magnificent splendor. It truly is nature's masterpiece. Beneath its stunning exterior, Antarctica hides a world ready to be explored. The Antarctic ice sheet, which holds about 70% of Earth's fresh water, covers a mysterious landscape of hidden lakes, rivers, and canyons. This continent, the largest ice reservoir, is still largely a mystery to us. With the help of advanced technologies like satellite imagery and ice-penetrating radar, scientists are beginning to uncover this concealed world. Imagine navigating through a network of water pathways, flowing silently beneath miles of ice. A secret water kingdom just coming to light.